What's up, kings and queens? It's your boy Dan from Daft Previews. I got 3 picks which I've put down. I'm going to take you through that today. If that sounds interesting, let's go.
Sub to the channel cause your boy's getting busy. Coming to you live from the west side of Sydney. We've got the free picks and the juice and the daily. It's all free, you don't even have to pay me.
Before we jump into the picks, I do have to give you a recap of what's been happening. Didn't put out a video last night. Did do a live stream in the morning. A ton of you guys caught that. Went through a ton of picks. But let's just recap the last few days real quick. So two days ago from my last video in the green, pretty strong day. VIP, we had 6.8 units of profit. Hero, Mitchell, Russell, Brooks, they were the main plays that cashed. Hit a couple of value plays as well. So that was another winning day for us. And then most recently, massive slate of games, I wasn't overly impressed. VIP, 1.76 units in the negative. This was one of the days where straight bets kind of carried us. Value plays were not valuable at all. Average day. And I think that day was always coming after a few winning days as well. We were close to hitting 200 units on the NBA season already. Made 1.16 units profit on straight bet. Let's talk about the losers. We'll get through some winners, give you some VIP stuff, and then we out. What lost? Took Rudy over his points and assists. That sucked. My man was missing layups all over the joint. Didn't see the volume. That was a bad read. I also took Jared Allen over his points and assists. He smashed his assists. He smashed his rebounds. He attempted like 4 shots. Then he got ejected. Like, how great was that? D'Lo took his over and assists. That man did nothing in a great matchup. Did nothing. So the Nets clearly tanking here. And I also took Wemby for 25 points. Didn't happen. And I tried to stay away from that Spurs game team after Fox got traded there. I don't know what happened to me. I don't know why I played that bet, but it was a bad one, and I feel awful for it. Did hit a couple of winners, though. Walker Kessler over his rebounds and assists. Had a monster night on boards alone. Dyson Daniels over his rebounds and assists. He cashed both his rebounds and his assist line. Trey Murphy over 23.5 points. We took Devin Booker under 28.5 points. Parlayed all of those together. So those are all the free picks that I sent out to you guys on the free winnable plan. Smash that parlay. 10-1, 11-1 odds. So pretty pleased with that. Also cash on Nick Smith over his 12.5 points line. Cole Anthony over 1.53 pointers made. And we only hit the one value play, you could say. Devin Booker under 21.5 points plus 310. So still fell in the negative because every other value play that I ran, and there was a lot of them, they all lost. A lot of them, we got close. Could have been a 20-unit profit day had things fallen our way, but it didn't happen. But that's betting, right? You got to take your losses on the chin. Take it like a champ. But hey, if you're interested in joining VIP, this is a bounce back day. Well, hopefully it is. Get 50% off your first week, month, year by using the code BOUNCEBACK when you sign up. I'll leave links to that in the video description for anybody who's interested. Now let's get into these picks, shall we? Let's go. So we're jumping into props madness, and I told you this tool is the best you're going to find for NBA player props. There's been another enhancement, and I'll take you through that real quick. So previously with props madness, you could filter by the player's dominant play type and their dominant shooting zone. A lot of players have multiple play types, multiple shooting zones, so they've added more filters. So you can now filter by by the top 2 play types, the top 2 shooting zones to get some amazing data. And I'll take you through that in more detail with one of the picks today. But that's just one reason why you need to jump on a props madness. So go ahead and check it out. 7-day free trial, plus you get 25% of your first month when you use the code DAFT when you sign up. So go ahead and check that thing out. Now, the 3 picks that I've got for you today. The first one, we're heading into this Magic versus the Denver Nuggets game, and I'm riding with MPJ today. My man's been on fire. 36 and 39 points in his last 2 games. He's been scorching, and that was against the Pelicans. Up against the Magic today. Much more difficult matchup here for Michael Porter Jr., and I'm not betting his points. I actually want to bet his rebounds today. Looking at over 6.5 boards, it's a plus money play, especially if you're jumping on FanDuel. Plus 126. I had to settle for this. It was a crappy book, sports bet, but plus 120, it still ain't too bad. So Michael Porter Jr., liking him to get some rebounds today. So he's projected to play 37 minutes in this game. We have an 8-point spread here to Denver. Denver at home, there is a chance that they blow them out, but at the same time, if they do the blowing, there should be a lot of rebound opportunities. Now, what I love about this, his last 3 games, 10, 7, and 12 boards. Yes, somewhat soft matchup when it comes to rebound, but the biggest difference in these last 3 games compared to all the others, there's no Westbrook. Westbrook, a bit of a beast of a rebounder. Without Westbrook, he's averaging 39 minutes, 9.6 rebounds per game. We've got Aaron Gordon. I think he's unlikely to play in this one. It is a back-to-back. He hasn't been playing back-to-back, so I don't think Gordon plays in this one. And the matchup is real good here. The Magic, they allow the third most rebounds to small forwards. They also allow the eighth most rebounds to power forwards over the last 15 games. They don't really have too much outside threat in terms of three-point shooters. So Michael Porter Jr. on the weak side, you can really prioritize getting these rebounds. So I do like MPJ to get some boards today, over 6.5. It is plus money. The one thing I'll call out, if I'm saying it's plus money, it's probably not best to take it on Prize Picks, Underdog, any of those types of apps, because you're going to get terrible odds for it. If it was at 6 on the dot or 5.5, then yeah, I'd entertain that, but not at 6.5. Do not do it. But Michael Porter Jr., that's the first pick that I wanted to share with you all. The next one, we're heading to the Sacramento Kings versus the Portland Trail Blazers, and I'm taking DeMar DeRozan today over 20.5 points, and this is when this advanced filtering can really come into play. So DeMar DeRozan, he's projected to play 36 minutes in this game against the Blazers. We've got a 1-point spread, and I think he plays every minute of those 36, if not close. If he doesn't play the full 36, he's definitely playing 35. I think he sees a ton of time today. Now, DeMar DeRozan has a fantastic matchup here against the Blazers. Let me talk you through it. They're below average in terms of defending the pick and roll. They give it the 5th most free throws in the league. DeMar DeRozan scoring almost 5 points a game from the free throw line, and they're average when it comes to defending spot-up shooters. The other thing I love about this, just look at these shot charts. So DeMar DeRozan, this has been his shot chart for a very long time. 45% of his points come from the mid-range. He's a mid-range maestro. Well, SGA is probably better than him now, but DeMar DeRozan has built his career off these mid-ranges, and he's up against the Portland Trail Blazers, who allow the most points in the mid-range in the league. So, liking the matchup here for DeMar DeRozan. Now, what you can do here, you can use these filters to see how does he perform in similar types of matchups. Firstly, we want to look at some minutes here. Let's just look at games between 34 and 40 minutes. I think that's a fair sample size of data that we can work through. The next thing we want to look at is the pick and roll ball handler. So they give it the 12th most points. What I would like to do is get rid of the top 10 teams at defending the pick and roll, just to get a better set of data here for DeMar DeRozan. The next thing you could look at is the spot up filter, but I'm not really interested in looking at the spot up filter right now. I want to look at this mid-range filter. So how does DeMar DeRozan perform when he's up against the teams that don't defend the mid-range very well? Now, this team is dead last. So let's look at the bottom 15 teams in defending the mid-range, and you can see it right here. When DeMar DeRozan plays the minutes that he's expected to play tonight against the matchup he's expected to see tonight, he's over this line in 8 out of 9 games, averaging 25.2 points per game. Matchup, brilliant for DeMar DeRozan. I'll tell you what's even better. Similar types of players. So these are the guys who score a lot of mid-range jumpers off pick and rolls, pretty much. That's the type of guy you're looking for. Devin Booker, SGA, Jalen Williams, Cade Cunningham, a lot of Booker again. Like, these guys have very similar offensive profiles to DeMar DeRozan. 11 out of the last 12 of them have covered their points line, a 15% difference to their closing line, 3.5 points higher than their closing line. So the matchup for DeMar DeRozan is excellent. I'm taking the bait. I don't care that Zach LaVine's here. Let's go. DeMar DeRozan should eat today. So I do like that. And my last pick, we're heading to the very last game. It's the Pacers versus the Los Angeles Clippers. I'm running it back with Norm Powell. I bet him last time against the Lakers. He did finish with only 20, but he played 31 minutes, 25-point blowout. He was well on track. He was crushing this line through most of this game. And then the Lakers pulled away, and then he absolutely sucked from there. Now, Norm Powell, he's up against the Pacers today. Norm Powell's projected to play 35 minutes. There is a 5-point spread in this game. Clippers are the favorite. I hope we don't see a blowout. I think it's unlikely, but that is a risk that you need to be wary of. Now, let's look at some minutes real quick for Norm Powell. Given his projection to play 35, let's look between 32 and 38 minutes here to get a good sample size. So between 32 and 38 minutes, check it out. He's over this line in 16 out of 21 games this season, averaging 25.6 points per game. The matchup here against the Pacers is a decent one. They do sit middle of the pack in terms of transition points allowed. They also allow the 5th most spot-up shooting. They allow the 5th most points to spot-up shooters in the league. So those are his 2 dominant play types. We can muck around with this. If we look at, even if we just looked at the bottom 10, because we know this is the real weak point for the Pacers. giving up points to spot up shooters. Now, with Norm Powell versus the bottom 10 teams in terms of spot up shooting, he's over this line in every single game. 7 out of 7 games against the teams that give up points to spot up shooting, Norm Powell's been the one to crush them. 29.6 points as an average, a 100% hit rate. And keeping in mind, this is only in games where he plays between 32 and 38 minutes, which I expect him to play today. So Norm Powell, I'm taking him with a lot of confidence here. I think he gets the win. I love it to death. Now, for those of you going to ask, what's your favorite pay? Which one? I would probably say DeMar DeRozan. That data is unbeatable. But just because it's my favorite, it doesn't mean there's a better chance to hit on that. So they're my 3 picks. I don't have any leans for you. I'm going to call that out right now. Didn't love too much of what I saw on the slate at the moment, especially the game time decisions, knowing that as I record this, the trade deadline is probably like 6 or 7 hours away. So more crazy shit could happen. Norm Powell, DeRozan, MPJ, I think they're untouchable at this point. I don't think anything happens to them. I think those guys are sweet to roll with. But obviously, if I'm going to put some late ads in, VIP is going to get absolutely everything. But if you go into click on that link, and if you don't want to pay for it, don't pay for it. But at the very least, sign up to the free winnable. The free winnable, like we saw in the most recent day, where we swept the board, that free winnable section is going to get all the bets that I'm going to place. If I don't make a video, if I was going to make a video, that post will have all the bets. We swept the board today, so that's something you don't want to miss out on. For this year, 2025, I'm really focusing on work-life balance, you could say. I'll work myself into the ground until I get sick, really, and I don't want to be doing that anymore, especially with young kids. So I'm not going to force myself to put a video out every single day as much as I want to. If I feel like I need a day off, I'm just going to have a day off. But if I have a day off, I am going to post those picks onto the free section on Winnable. So everybody go ahead, sign up to that. It's completely free, won't cost you a damn thing. But for those of you who are willing to pay, who want to bet every single day, and you've got access to a traditional sports book and you want to hit on these value plays, jump into VIP, activate that discount, get you 50% off. But outside of that, I wish you guys the absolute best. I honestly do. I want you to come back telling me how everything went, what you won, how much it was. I want to hear all that stuff from you. So I do wish you the best of luck. Let's green out. Let's go.
Sub to the channel cause your boy's getting busy. Coming to you live from the west side of Sydney. We've got the free picks and the juice on the daily. It's all free, you don't even have to pay me.